Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to the final installment of your Ataxia webinar series. My name is Jonas, and we're going to keep this one fairly simple, but it may be a little long. It's going to involve a lot of talking on my part. I bet you're real thrilled about that. Anyway, we're going to start off with the Social Security or disability pension. It depends on what country you live in. In the US, we have Social Security. In other countries, it may be some type of a disability pension. I don't know because I don't live there. It's up to you to find out which is yours and follow up on it. Anyways, I'm going to tell you how it was years ago when I filed. I've been on disability for over 20 years. Now, there are a lot of people that talk about how they got denied and they went to a lawyer and got denied and this and that and yada yada. The point is 20 some odd years ago, I filed and I was approved on the first time. Why? There's two words that your doctors have to have in there. Now, I don't know if it's the same today, but it was then, so I'm sure it's a similar situation now. At that time, it was very important that they put, I could not do gainful employment. And also that they put in there that I am a danger to myself and to others. If those two words aren't in the doctor's whatever, they're not going to approve you. It's just that simple. They don't know what you have. They don't know what ataxia is, and if they can help it, you're not going to get approved. You have to be really diligent. You have to have a medical team. Your doctors have to do their job. It's imperative that when they do your diagnosis and prognosis and whatever, that it is a bulletproof and ironclad diagnosis. If there's the slightest crack or the slightest hole, they will find it and you will be denied. If everything is topsy turvy and all your I's are dotted and all the T's are crossed, you're going to have a better chance, a much better chance. Now, in the application itself, it used to be that the doctors would send in some paperwork and you would fill out some paperwork and send it in. The thing about that paperwork is, unfortunately, you have to make yourself look in dire straits. If you can button a shirt or if you can comb your hair, in the eyes of Social Security, you're not disabled. We know differently, don't we? So we literally cannot button our own shirt. We cannot comb our own hair. We cannot feed ourselves. We cannot dress ourselves. You've got to make yourself look bad, even though you and I and everybody else probably knows it's a bunch of bull crap. But you have to make yourself look really bad because they will not approve you if you are not in dire straits. So you've got to make yourself look like you're in dire straits. It's very simple. You have to, if 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 there's paperwork or if there's a form online or whatever they do these days, I don't know because I am on Social Security. I have been for 20 years. I can't access a new form. I just can't. So I really don't know what's on there. But like I said, whether it's something that you have to fill out or something online, You've just got to make yourself look really bad. If you can button your shirt and comb your hair, you are not disabled. So you're going to get denied. If you want to get approved, make sure that your paperwork is correct. You look really bad. You can't do anything yourself. And make sure that your doctors do their job in the fact that they have to submit paperwork containing the words, I cannot do gainful employment and I am a danger to myself and to others in the workplace. If you have those things, there's probably a very, very good chance that you're going to get approved. Now there is misconception and total falsehood when it comes to the following. I don't know how it is in other countries. I don't know how the disability pension works. That's up to you. Um, there will come a time when you feel like you can't work anymore. And by the way, that's a call that you should make. A doctor shouldn't have to make that for you. It's just very simple. If you can't work anymore, you can't work anymore. What does the doctor's diagnosis have to do with anything? It really doesn't. If you can't work, you can't work. Make that decision on your own. And what I was getting to about the about before, um, there's a thing in Social Security called compassionate allowance. There's, I don't know, maybe 100 or so conditions that are on this so-called compassionate allowance that really, really, really doesn't mean anything to you. It really does not. Ataxia is on the compassionate allowance list. However, your doctors have to prove that you have ataxia. Just because you're on the compassionate allowance list doesn't mean anything. The doctors have to prove the case. Once the case is proved, then it kicks in. Then you're on everything streamlined. Um, you're going to get approved right away, and you're going to get some money right away. This is what compassionate allowance is for. It is not. It does not kick in until you've been approved. Let's put it that way. It's a real easy way. Compassionate allowance does not kick in until you are approved. I was sitting in Las Vegas at the conference a couple years ago, and I was sitting next to a person that does Social Security, that does webinars and speaks about Social Security. She was totally baffled by this compassionate allowance thing. Yeah, some people know they're there, but they don't know why. But I'm going to tell you why. Believe me, it really doesn't matter if you're on the compassionate allowance. It does not kick in until after you are approved. Okay. Also, we're going to touch just a little bit on working. we we're going a little bit backwards. We did the disability thing, and now we're doing the working thing. Anyways, there will come a time, more than likely, anyways, that you are just going to decide that it's not beneficial for you to work anymore. This is a very, very, very hard pill to swallow. It's because people work, what they do is who they are. It's people put their heart and soul into what they do. So it's basically who you are. So what you're doing to yourself is basically you're stopping yourself from being yourself. It blows, but it is a natural progression. when you are at your job and you're starting to stumble and you're starting to stagger around and mumbling and what have you, it's really not a good idea for you to go on. And I explained a lot of this in the book, which you really need to read. Um, and when someone is working and they can no longer work, well, then you have to go on Social Security or some kind of disability pension or whatever. Again, this is something that a doctor should not have to make the call for you. When you when you're starting to lose your faculties and you that's kind of harsh. When you can no longer do your job, it's time for you to move on. It's very simple. It once again, like I said, it's a hard pill to swallow, but we all have to do it sooner or later. If you're working, sometimes you have the option of going to part time, maybe doing a different job at your company or whatever. Those are very rare temporary band aid fixes. The point is, you're going to have to stop working and you're going to have to go on some kind of a disability program. It's just fact. It's just fact. And the sooner you accept that, the better off you're going to be. I worked until I was 42. That's when I started getting Social Security. The point is, I stopped working myself. I was a painter. I could never. I could no longer climb a ladder. I could no longer paint straight line. Uh, there's a whole lot of reasons that I said I just can't do this anymore. So I quit, and we'll get into some of that, some more of that in a moment. Anyways, applying for the Social Security, like I said, first time that I applied, I got it within a few weeks, maybe a month or so. I was starting to receive my benefits. If it's done right, there should not be a problem. You don't need a lawyer, and you really can do it yourself if you want to. Uh, Again, I say working when the time comes, make the call yourself, and you can no longer work yourself. Excuse me. Okay, next on the agenda here is insurances. And I don't know how this works in other countries because some of you are on the universal health care. And so, how that all works, I really don't know. What I can tell you is how it works here, how it works for me. There's a very big misconception that once you are diagnosed, you can't get health insurance anymore. That's baloney. Health insurance is not a problem. Life insurance, most of the time, is not a problem. What is a problem is the private disability insurance. And you might know what that is. That's when you're at work, you have disability, short term and long term. If if you are diagnosed, this is the one thing that you really have to know. You have to have your ducks in a row before you get diagnosed, because once you get diagnosed, you can't get disability insurance anymore. You cannot, absolutely cannot get it, no matter what company, no matter who, no matter anything, you cannot get it. Once you are diagnosed, you will not get disability insurance. You probably will get life insurance and you will probably have health insurance. That's usually not a problem. However, if you get private disability, like I say, when you're at work, you have a short-term disability, a long-term disability. Uh, if you can't work anymore, you're gonna apply for that. If you are already diagnosed, you're not going to get that. I had a private disability insurance policy because I was always self-employed. Now, I was able to get disability before I was diagnosed, and once I was diagnosed, the question was, are you taking any medication for your illness? Well, no, there is no medication. So I was actually telling the truth, and there was no way that they could wiggle around this. They had to pay out for about a year. I think they had to pay out my disability. However, since then they've got basic coverage. So if they're going to ask questions and you're going to answer questions, um, chances are they're going to find out that you've been diagnosed already, and they're going to deny you one. Just keep that in mind. You need to have some ducks in a row before you get yourself diagnosed. Period. Okay, next issue is driving. A lot of people, um, it's another hard pill to swallow when you have to stop driving. Now, when do you have to stop driving? People ask it all the time. People ask about the working too. If you have to ask, it may be time. It really may be time. If you have to ask, you've probably lost your confidence, and therefore you should not be on the road. It's very simple. Um, uh, Driving itself, it definitely varies. Going a couple of back roads to the local grocery store to get yourself some milk is a whole lot different than driving in downtown rush hour. It's a whole lot different. I still drive. I'm going to stop very shortly, like within the next couple of months. But anyways, um, it all depends on where you're going to drive, what you're going to do. I was a professional driver for a while. I did truck and bus driving. I went to school. Driving is like second nature to me. It's a whole different ballgame to me than probably to you. Anyways, once you lose your confidence, whether no matter what it is at driving or working, once you lose your confidence, it's probably time to stop. So go ahead and once again, a doctor shouldn't have to make this call for you. They don't know where you're driving. They don't know what you do. To them, driving is driving. To me, like I said, back road, a couple of back roads to the store, and rush hour during or rush hour traffic, driving in rush hour traffic. That's a whole different story. I can't drive in rush hour traffic, but I'll take a couple of back roads to get me some milk. It's that simple. And when's time? Oh, they say, oh, how do you know when it's time? How do you know when you should do this? How do you know when you should do that? When you start asking the questions, then it's probably time. It might be time to stop working. It might be time to start driving. Start thinking about getting your Social Security. Start thinking about getting your ducks in a row. It really does matter. You have to you have to you have to get yourself all together before you can get yourself up together. If that makes any sense. But anyways, please make the decision yourself when it comes to working or driving. When you lose the confidence, it's time to hang it up. It's just time. And I know that you may be used to just getting up and going wherever you want. And believe me, I know I've been there. I'm going through the same thing. However, in a couple of months when I do stop, I just it, mainly I'm stopping because my driver's license is going to expire, and I'm just not going to renew it. If if I if I could renew it, I might keep driving, but I'm not. So my license is going to be expired soon, and I'm not going to renew it. Therefore, I am not going to drive anymore. It's just that simple. And I know it's a real hard pill to swallow, like I said, but it's something that we have to go through. Uh, that's about it as far as these webinar presentations are concerned. Make sure you read the book Life with Ataxia. You're probably going to read it a few times. Watch the videos. Watch these webinar presentations. Make sure you do them all together. Put them all together, and you're probably going to watch these time and time again. It's just like a TV show or like a movie. You can watch it once. The second time you watch it, you may pick up something that you didn't know the first time, and the third time you may pick up something else that you didn't pick up the second time, and so on and so on. Anyways, watch these videos, watch these webinars, read the book. If you can, if you are a Facebooker, join Planet Ataxia. That is my Facebook support group for ataxia. It's Planet Ataxia. Just do a search on it, get on there and join. And you will be a happy camper because you'll be well ahead of the game. Just with the having the book and having the links to these videos and having the links to these webinar presentations, you're already ahead of the game. Most people out there don't do anything until it's time to file for Social Security. It's time to do this. It's time to stop working. It's time to stop driving. You have to prepare for these things. So I've been at this a long time. I know that some of these things may not apply to you. Maybe you're not there yet. Maybe you're well past there. I don't know. Basically you have an accounting of my life with ataxia. It's, I pretty much put everything into writing, into video and stuff like that. So you are going to learn. And that's it. Read the book, watch the videos, watch the webinars, join Planet Ataxia, and we'll see you all in that great ataxia place in the sky. Thanks a lot. See you later.